out on the frontiers, you never know who's approaching. That's why you need some frontier watchtowers. So today we're going to be learning about how to make some quick and easy and cheap watchtowers for really between 6 and 15 mil, but you could just scale it up to any size. So the base is I'm using foam core, and I've cut it down to 3 centimeters by 6 centimeters. I've got 4 matchsticks for the poles, the legs of the tower, and then popsicle stick I've cut into approximately 2 sections which are 1 centimeter long, which will become the roof once they're stuck together, and one which is about 3/4 of a centimeter, 7.5 mils, which is going to be the platform itself. Then also I've got another couple of matchsticks which will be kind of rails around the edge of the tower itself. Safety again. Health and safety. And then finally for the ladder, although it doesn't have the rungs, I've just used a bit of an offcut from one of the Warlord Games snake fences. Although you could easily do the same thing, make it out of matchsticks or whatever else you have to hand. So, as with my usual process, I try and make all of the scenery scalable, or multi-scalable I should say. But yeah, you could definitely make these larger to a certain extent. If you wanted to go 28 mil, you would have to get some large, I'm not sure, sticks from outside or large skewers, just because, yeah, I don't think the matchsticks would quite work at that scale. They'd look a little bit too small. Anyway, so once we've cut everything and gathered it to the right size, I'm just using hot glue to stick it all together, purely for the speed. You could use wood glue, but that would just take quite a long time, so hot glue, bang together, and job's done. But do remember, whenever you're using PVA, in my opinion, it's always worth going over the entire model afterwards with, whenever you're using hot glue, go over the miniature afterwards with PVA or wood glue, and then that'll help to bind everything together and lock it in place, so it doesn't fall apart. So I've done the 2 different styles. I've done one which has a wooden sort of rail, and then on the second one on the right I've just used another popsicle stick to go around, so it's more enclosed. Then I spray painted, base coated with black. I was a bit concerned that maybe the foam core might melt, but it didn't actually, so that was quite good. I just kept the spray paint back a good distance. And then next up we're using Reeves's dark brown, I think it's called Burned Umber. It's just a cheap craft paint that I picked up when I was at the warehouse a while ago. So yeah, it is. It's nice and cheap, and I just slapped that on all over the miniature itself, and all over the base as well, just seal in everything that the spray paint itself has missed. Yeah, I have enjoyed recently doing quite a few small, quick projects, things like this which you don't necessarily need, but a watchtower can become a centerpiece of a battle. That could be the objective that you're fighting over out on the frontiers, who knows. But also the little barriers that I made a few weeks ago as well, in and of themselves, nothing too major, but they just add a little bit extra interest to the field. So yeah, I have enjoyed these. So yeah, please keep sending me your suggestions for projects, because yeah, I'm enjoying doing it, and I hope you are enjoying seeing them come to life. So if there are anything you want to see, let me know. So at the moment I am, as a side note, working on a Greek hoplite army and Roman Republican army. So I found some STL files, and so I will do a video shortly on those, both where I found the files, but also the printing process, and then painting them and getting them battle ready. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the quality of the prints. So yeah, looking forward to see them actually all done up on the table. Now we're going to use leather brown from Game Color, and we're going to use this for highlighting. So what I tend to do is do my first layer of highlighting, then I'll give the entire miniature a dark brown or black wash, and then I go over it a second time with the same color to highlight, just to really pick out the final pieces. And I find that way of doing things, rather than having to go one tone of brown, then another, then another, then another. If you just use the same color but put a wash over in the middle, it gives you two different shades without having to spend a fortune on all the different paints out there. So I guess you say that's Will's tip for saving money with paints. Yeah, these makeup brushes, they do a very nice job for dry brushing, so I would definitely recommend getting one, even though you may get a weird look when you're in the store. Just say you've got a girlfriend. Or wife. Or sister. Actually, I had to go to the police station the other day to get a form filled in, and I had a pot full of flock, and when I walked in, the woman behind the counter was giving me a very strange look. It's like, what exactly is that in there? And then the sergeant came out and he was like eyeing it up. I was like, don't worry, you can have a smell. It's flock. And they're like, what the heck is flock? I was like, well, I paint miniature soldiers, and this is to go on the floor. And they just both sort of looked at each other like I was a weirdo, uh, which I suppose I am, but that's beside the point. So, interesting to see what people actually know of or don't know of when it comes to our hobby. But anyway, once we've finished with the highlighting, then it's time to do the flocking, the basing. So what I do is I tend to leave the pathway, which I do with sand, and then the remainder I do with the actual flock itself. Then I add on a few bits of sort of clump foliage, grass tufts, just to give it a bit of interest. And I think they've come out pretty well. I mean, they're not supposed to be 100% perfect, but they give you the idea of exactly what they are. They kind of look like a kid's treehouse, to be honest, with a slide. But it does the job. And on the table, I'm happy with the way they look. So yeah, I hope this gives you some ideas of ways of shaping your battlefield, some things that you can add on to them. They are sort of scale flexible, but yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I hope you enjoyed too. Please like, subscribe, and leave some comments below, and I'll see you next time.